Hello everyone, welcome back to Build Your Own redis-cli server. In this video, we'll be covering chapter 3, that would be handling client connections, set, get, delete, and expire. So these four are very basic fundamental operations that we can build to start with. And also this will give you an opportunity to understand how the REST protocol is and all that stuff. So let's get started. Alright, to begin with, let's start the server again. npm start and it's listening. Let's try to connect via redis CLI, which is an actual CLI tool from the redis itself that will be connecting to our own server. So it is connected and looks like everything is working fine. So this is like a standard we need to send as a response for as a default, okay, like if it's all okay with the command what you sent. I'll go through that. So I think for now everything looks good and the loop is also closed. To begin with, we'll start with the RESP protocol, that is like a text-based protocol known as RESP, Redis Serialization Protocol, which is designed to be efficient and easy to parse. So I'll be sharing some examples starting with the this one. So plus okay slash r slash n. This is nothing but when we are trying to send okay, the message has been processed and accepted. So somehow to the Redis CLI we should inform that the thing is all okay, right? So similar to the HTTP 200 status code, you can treat this as plus okay slash r slash n is like a valid case, yeah, and it's all processed and successful. Let's say if there is some error, right? If I pass some vague commands and all, we should send with the proper error status codes and also this is how it is. So minus err space unknown command slash r slash n. All this information you can go through the official official Redis documentation where they given all the in detail thing. Something exactly as per the REST protocol we can try to cover down the line for our course, right? And numeric replies also. So 1000 slash r slash n. Starting with strings and arrays, things would be a bit slightly complex, but once you get the actual heck of it, like how the serialization is working and the deserialization, that's very easy to crack. So I'll just give you the example of strings over here. Let's say, so it is like $6, right? That means like the number represents the length of the string. So whatever the number which is coming after the dollar is like the following, what are the characters or the bytes will get after this specific so and so. Ignore slash r slash n for now, only for now. Yeah, so 6 represents the length of the characters. So if it is Vivek, then that would be $5 slash r slash n Vivek again slash r slash n. So for every set of bytes, the separator in this whole RESP protocol is purely slash r slash n. That's kind of a next line. Okay, that's why if you see here, the moment redis here like connects, we are getting literally like 4 new lines, right? So star in, then $7, then the command, and again at the end. If you see the cursor, the last cursor over here, so it's like 4 new lines. Clear? I hope it is clear. So if it is a string, like if it's like a proper string, we just get with the length of the string slash r slash n as a separator. We can treat that, and the actual length foo bar, and again at the end is like slash r slash n. Same thing applies for any of the thing, any of the response. Okay, now slightly an extension. So this is like sending for one single string, right? Now if you want to send an array of strings, so that would be the starting character would be star, and it will tell you the number of strings in the array. So here if you see 3, that means like total we have 3 strings in this array, and the same pattern follows. So after this there should be a separator, so slash r slash n $3. So straightforward, three characters would be coming as a following, and again $3. So total 3, right? So first string length is 3, and after the first string is done, then the following string value is again 3, in this case foo, right? So foo foo 3. Then the following again $3, that is bar. I think the example is kind of confusing, but you got the point, right? So if it is beginning with this star, you can treat that as an array, and array length will give you the following number. And for each string length is the same pattern what we follow over here. I hope that's clear. That's pretty much it. On high level, like this is the very fundamentals we needed. If you know these things, like how to pass the information, I think we are good to go and follow the same RESP protocol. Yeah. So again, this is like a more breakdown of the whole explanation. So let's break down the set command. So the actual set command would be simply, let's write it down. So let's set foo bar. If you see here, *3, that means like we have total 3 strings in the array, and the following $3 will give you the length of the first string in the array. So that would be $3 bulk of string of length 3, then set 3 characters, right? And the following number again tells you the next set of string length, that would be foo, and in that case that is foo. Then foo bar. Let's use some other example. I think this is kind of confusing. Let's say Vivek Bharatha. And if you see here, again the same, because 3 strings, right? Set, then Vivek, then Bharatha. So 3 strings in the array. So 3. And if you see set, which is always, it will be consistent enough, right? Set get something similar. So that is 3. Then if you see Vivek, so the actual length is 5 over here. Bharatha 8. Now let's start processing the command. So here, irrespective, we're just logging over here, right? We are not actually processing and building our own stuff, right? So to begin with, we'll start with the very basic command set, and we'll try to close the whole loop by passing the command, executing the command, and also saving the information for now as in memory. Okay, let's begin. To start with, we'll create a code.js file, which self-explanatory, which will hold all the necessary information. So first thing I would be creating would be like simply parse command. Let's use for now as data, and let's export this also. We'll be exporting more, but for now let's use something like this. Okay, it's exported. Now on the server dot, let's close these things. So on the server.js, let's just simply pass it down. That would be parse command. It gets automatically imported, and oops, we can pass as is. So for now, to close the loop, we can keep the response as is. For now, we'll close the whole loop by successfully completing the whole set operation. Okay, so parse command. Now let's go back to the parse command. First thing is, anyway we needed to split the information, right? So let's call lines, because the separator is /r/n. So just to begin with, data dot toString, right? Then let's split, oops, split with /r/n, and let's print this out. Just for now, I think we can use logger also, and let's call this score. Then logger dot, you can see log, and yeah, let's print these lines for now. Okay, and we can all actually pass watch over here, so that it gets keeps refreshing automatically. We don't need to stop and start the server. uh, you could ignore the warning for now. Watch mode is an experimental feature, and of course, yeah, cool. All right, so let's begin by passing the same command. Let's use foobar. Okay, I think we are doing over here multiple times like logging. Let's, I think we can just simply remove these lines, right? Okay, so code.js, you can see *3 $3 set $3 foo again $3 bar. Let's change this. I think let's maintain different values at least. So set 3, So 3 3 3 actually 5. Okay. And just to be on safe side, let's trim it down also. Yeah. Okay. I hope this is self-explanatory, and if you see the server started, I mean whenever you save, the watch thing is working and it started. So let me just see set 1 3. Okay, so we are aligned. Now lines we are getting properly. Now if you see here, in most of the commands, third element in the array, that is in the lines array, third element would be the command. So we can just extract that also, right? So let's just use that constant command lines of 2, and to always make it consistent and easy to parse, let's use something like this, and also just print it over here, and let's pass it again. Exactly happened, did we pass the value? Yeah, lines of 2 to uppercase, and we are printing the command as well. Oh yeah, this is, let's do like this one up. Remember, the log is exactly the console log, and you need to pass it as the first argument only. We can't, I mean we can do that, but you got the crux, right? So let's add a concatenate for now, and let's pass it again. Yeah, you can see set over here. Now let's just have it as a separate line, just to isolate logger.log command. Okay, let's call this again. Set is the actual command, and now the fun part starts. If you see after set, there will be a value again, right? And we keep getting the argument. So let's see set 1 3, right? Let's call maybe set 1 3, and there could be some other extra options also. So let's call after the command whatever the values we get it, let's call those as the arguments, right? So how to extract arguments, it should be straightforward. So let's see, after the actual command that is at index 2, then from starting from fourth index, right? Starting from fourth index, you can skip alternate indexes, and you can basically combine all the arcs. So that simple specific line would be this one. So lines of slice starting index is 4, and filter based on the index again alternate, right? So I just use index and percentile too. I think it's self-explanatory. So let's add this arcs also, and let's remove this. Clear? Set 1 3, perfect. That's all. So let's just simply return these. So we have consumed the data, and we passed it with a proper command, identifying the command, and also passed all the arguments from that specific command with the space separated. But again, the actual values would be in the same RESP protocol, right? So we passed it accordingly. Now we have both command and args. Clear? Now head back to server.js, and let's use these also over here. Command and oops, args. Okay, I think no need to print these also for now. So.js, and we have this one. Now, once we have this information, let's try to execute also. How we can do, we'll use the same code.js and create another function. Okay, it's not being used, but for now that's fine. So let's say maybe it's called execute command. Yeah, and okay, so execute command also can be over here, and we can basically just use the same thing, command and args. Okay, now what we can do, we'll just assuming that the execute command would give you a response, so constant response execute command and args. All right, so we can send the response as is. uh, we might face some issues. Let's say the pass command doesn't have any valid command. Let's say the execute command inside the definition, we'll be using a switch case, or we could use different, because we will end up we'll end up supporting so many other commands, right? So okay, now what we can do in the server.js, let's create a response over here, right? And let's try to wrap this up, and we'll send the generic response all in all. So let's call it response. And okay, sorry, oops, instead of returning, yeah, we actually need to write to the socket, and that would be response. Okay, so in the worst case, like if we are not able to send the process the information, we need to basically send this one. Yeah, so let's copy this response. Okay, and we can actually better to, let's add a logger also. All right, so over here we'll just use these things. Okay, can, yeah, clear. Now let's try to complete the whole execute command also. And to begin with, let's just add an info over here, loggle.log received. Maybe we can just use, okay. We'll just log as is for now, right? Just as logs again. Okay, command and args. Now, if you think on a big picture, we need to support a lot of commands, right? Let me just open this one. So if you see set, get, delete, expire, ttl, increment, decrement, all the 5 operations on list, right? So there's like more than close to 10, right? More than 10. So what we can do, instead of using a switch cases and all that stuff, we can actually have a constant with all the with an object with each command as a field and the function definition as a value. So what we can do, we can use something like command handlers. Okay, simple object, and here it would be like get function definition. That's it. So and also over here, now what we can do is constant. We'll first see if there is a uh, valid command or not. Okay, so accordingly we will process, and if not, then we can just go back to the, like we can just simply return the fallback unknown handler thingy. So handler, and again command handlers of command, we'll just pass the command as is, and command will be in uppercase always. So and now we'll just as a header handling, if handler is not available, we can send this one, like the error thingy. Let me just quickly write it down. Let's copy quickly. Yeah, so this one, code.js. Okay, just in case if the handler is not available. If it is available, then we can just simply call handler of arg. So we'll just pass the args accordingly, and each function, each method, each command will have that specific definition of it. And if you see here, let me just quickly do redis-cli. So it got failed, and if you see invalid arg type and okay, received command. So now if you see on the server.js, we are processing it as is, right? And there could be an error, I think so. Received command, oh, received command is from our part, and invalid archetype writable. I think it's not able to process it. The reason could be this one, of course. This is should we'll just need to override this one, right? Uh, Connect again, received command. Yeah. So the loop didn't close properly, I guess. Let me just reiterate again. So received command. So let's close these readmes. Package not just not required. So on the core, handler, command handlers. Let's add this command also, right? Okay, and we can just, in fact, we can just send plus okay slash r slash n. Simple. So now let's see, this command should be coming over here, and let's, okay, looks like everything is working fine. Just to be make sure everything is working as expected, you can just add a temporary log over here. Okay, and let's get it, and yeah, okay, clear. So we close the loop, like at least the base for it, so that in the code.js we are calling this execute command, and inside we have, so down the line we'll be having all the command handlers over here. We'll first see whether the handler is valid or not. If not, we will just fall back to the error unknown command, and it will be passed on all this. If you want to cross check this one, let's say we can do test 1 2. You can see the it also passed on the redis CLI also, because we are sending in a correct exact how the redis CLI is expecting, and we can just use it accordingly. Okay, so test is not a valid command, and also, yeah, now in our case we close the loop properly, because this handler is not available, and it just goes here, and that response will be captured over here, and it will be sent here. Clear? All right, now we'll actually start saving the value. So get set and all. Oops, I think this should be set for now to begin with. Yeah. Okay, so for the set, let's say um, we need to store this values in memory, right? So for now we can keep in memory as an, of course, a pure object we can do, right? So we can just use store as a pure object. Expiration times, I'll just get into that, because in this video we will be covering expire also. So we will set, okay, this key should be expired in so and so, right? So we'll just maintain two objects for now, and is expired, we are just checking whether this key, right, if it is part of the expiration times, and if it is there, then the value will be saying the when this thing should be expired, right? So we are just checking if the value of what we stored over here for that specific key is less than the current time, then it's purely expired. It does mean that it's expired, so it just returns the boolean accordingly. All right, this check expiry will be called every time when we use the get command, right? We'll first see whether the key is valid or not, and if it is there in the memory, and also in the expiration times if it is set, then we'll see is it really expired. If it is expired, then we ideally need to remove those keys, right, because it's expired. And also we'll just say, okay, check expiry if it is expired or not, so it is true. Else, if it is not, even in this case, either it's not in the expiration times, so this thing anyway will be false, and we'll just say false, so it will just return false, which means like it's not expired. Let's complete set command, so that it will give you the clear picture how the in memory it's a simple object saving key value, but still from once we complete this one, we can just literally copy paste, and we'll try to complete the other commands also. So if you look at the execute command, once we get this one, we are just passing the array args as is to the handler, so that would be coming over here, and for the set args, right? So the first thing is, we'll first validate for set command, at least we definitely need a key and a value, right? So let's set foo bar, right, bar 1, let's say. So there is an error over here, I think received undefined. Okay, let's see. Set command handlers, this also received undefined. Okay, let's save this again, and it started. Maybe we'll just create this, and let's call it set bar. Okay, so the server is crashing. Let's try to debug. Received set foo bar, then, oh yeah, I think we are not returning anything. In what the chunk argument must be of type string or an instance, of course. So over here we are sending, and the response we are not returning anything, so it would be undefined. So it's not a valid thingy, received undefined. Yeah. So to close the loop, maybe we'll just let's leave it. Let's try to close the whole loop first. So for the set command, we should be having definitely key and a value, right? And we are checking here the args length, and the first the first element in the args would be the key, and second element will be value. So what I'm doing, I'm just, this is a store object, right? Simply it's a JavaScript object, as simple as it is. So store of key, and you're passing the value. And if you see here, type also we are mentioning. The reason, if you look at the other operations will be performing down the line, there are so many other operations. So delete, expire, and TTL is there, and increment and decrement. So let's say if you're saving a key with a equals to 10, you could use increment and decrement to alter the integers or the numbers, right? And lpush, rpush, these are like a list, right? So in order to save that data type also, and also the redis itself in general has so many data structures inbuilt, so it's better to save the type also. So in our case it will be string. Okay, then once we process it, we are just sending okay, all processed and fine. So let's save this at this stage by returning plus okay and R, and let's connect this to again, then set foo bar. Okay, we got a response as okay over here. Clear? Now we can complete the get command function also. If you see, just to save time, not to write each line by line, because from here things, because the main heavy lifting is done, like parsing the command. I see at this stage, um, parsing command is kind of a tricky to understand, and I mean if you get the actual crux of it, it's easy. But yeah, so if you see here, get command, what exactly get command does, so we set over here as set foo bar, right? When you call, when you pass a command as a get, and the value like the key is foo, then we should return bar. That's it, right? So what we'll do, the same thing as a validation. For get command, at least I need a key, right? At least not that's the only thing we need, right? So we're just checking args.length is 1 or not, or at least greater than 1 or not. Then if that is not the case, so what we are sending, error, wrong number of arguments for get command. Okay, let's try to call that one. So I'll just use get, and immediately if you see here, error, wrong number of arguments for get command. Okay, now after that, once the validation is done, I'm getting the key again, the same structure wise, and I'm first checking the check expiry. Okay, if expired, if it is expired, -1, so it's like okay, not found or nil sort of thing. Yeah, if the key is not there, right? And if the key is there but still the type is not string, then get command doesn't work, because for all the other types of data types, for all the other data types, we can't just retrieve it and just send it, because for at least for the list, it's like a big range, big chunk of elements will be there, right? It's not just a single string value. So we are just validating this also. So either of these condition match, then we are just sending okay, it's an invalid, or I mean not as an invalid, so it's -1, so it's like a not found sort of thing. Yeah, and if this is all okay, right? And even check expiry also, I'll just get back to that like when once we complete the expire command support. But for now, we can, let's go for the positive scenarios, right? And value, we are just good, because here if you see, it's not a flat key value type. Key is fine, like the key is the actual key what we are setting, but the value would be an object, and inside we are storing the type. So once we get this thingy, store of key of value. Clear? So this value we are passing over here. So the response here is kind of tricky. Remember the RESP protocol. If you see here, if you needed to return bar, right, then we need to send in a proper fashion. That would be $3 slash r slash n, then bar, then again slash r slash n. So that's how it would be, right? So now if you see here, the same thing. So value, let's say the value is Vivek, right? So Vivek dot length, that would be 5. So dollar of 5 here, slash r slash n, then the actual value, that would be Vivek. Simple. Okay, let's save this. So restarted now. So if you observe, for every save, as we added the watch option, right, it is restarting the server. If you see that the timestamp will keep changing, right? Okay, so make sure when you're testing it out in your local, the moment you save it, the already in memory stored values will be off. So let's say, now let's call it set1 1, right? It is saved. So now if I call, let's don't call anything, then it's like if you don't pass any arguments, we are just getting that error. That's kind of a validation we have for the get command. Now if I do get 1, there you go. Okay, this is again confusing. Let's call it set foo bar. Okay, now if I call get foo, getting bar, so we are completed. Like the main data flow for set and get is completed. The same thing applies for the other set of commands. Now let's just try to close the loop and support del also. So if you see for the del, something similar. First we'll see, because for the del also, like delete, right, we need to pass the key. So that's the validation over here. And once you get the key value, we are first checking whether we do already have that key or not. Okay, if it is there, then deleting from here and deleting from expiration times, and we are acknowledging, stating that okay, it is deleted. So for the delete, if it is successful delete, the response we just pass it as :1. Okay, if it is not found, we'll just pass it as :0. Clear? So let's save this. Now let's do again, let's call, because we saved the I mean we saved this code.js and server restarted. So at this stage the store value will be empty, right? So even now if you call del foo, integer is 0 because it didn't even find. So let's set the value, set foo bar. Okay, now get foo, just to verify. Clear? Now if I do del foo, I got integer 1. Now if I try to get access again, I get nil. Simple. I hope it's all clear now. So -1 will resolve that to nil. Okay, yeah, we close the loop. So the bare minimum functions, like the fundamental commands, are almost done, right? Perfect. Now moving on to the final command we are supporting in this video, that would be expire. Expire also similar, just that it will accept the other value, like after how many seconds the value should be expired. I'll just give a walkthrough. So if you see, the first argument is key and how many seconds, right? So first we are checking directly straight away. If it is not there in the store, then there is no point in expiring and all, because it doesn't make sense. It's not even in there. So we'll just send the value as 0. So if you see the pattern, overall for most of the commands, that the key what we're trying to alter or delete, update or delete, let's say, if it is not there, we are sending it as start :0, right? And in this case also, when you are trying to expire a key, if it is not found, we're just sending 0, right? :0 again. Then for this specific key in the expiration times, remember we have we are maintaining a separate object to store the expiration times, and we are using these things to verify when we calling get command. Okay, so once we get this one, so expiration time so and so, current time plus seconds into 1000, just to store in milliseconds. That's it. So let's save it again, time updated. So now let's call set foo bar. Okay, now if I call get foo, still getting. Now what I'll do, expire foo in seconds. Let's do 5 seconds. So I'll just quickly use get foo. I can still get the value. All right, let's see now. Okay, get foo null, because after 5 seconds, if you look at the pattern over here, when you're calling get, right, on the get side, on the get handler, you're first checking the expiry. So in the check expiry again, if it is expired or not, right? If it is expired, right, we are just deleting from the store and also from the expiration times. So for every get query, we are first checking whether the key is in that expiration times, and if it is there, then you are validating whether that time is less than the current time. If that's the case, then we can just simply remove and we can just send -1. That would be like a nil. Okay, yeah, that's it. So on the functional side, that's pretty much it. Now let's jump on to the test cases, because manually we tested all the functionality on the commands what we are supporting, set, get, delete, and expire. Right now, what we can do, we'll just focus on the test cases to close the loop, so that we can rely on the test cases to test it out, and down the line for almost every command what we are trying to support in the next set of videos, we'll be going with these test cases as the main reliability for to assess the whole server. Yeah, so server.test dot let's get exit from redis-cli on the second terminal, and let's run npm run test. Let me just see what we configured over here. Okay, looks like we don't even have this command, so let's just add it right away. And that would be as simple as node server.test.js. That's it. Okay, let's clear this out. Npm run test. Let me just expand now, because this is all is required. um Looks like some case is failing, so let's try to fix that accordingly. So server.test.js, redis client, unknown command. Oh yeah, of course. If you see the send command, we are just passing it as set foo bar, right? And if you clearly notice, the same command, we are just sending it as write. So that write is nothing but the redis CLI way of doing stuff, like set foo bar. Okay, we are printing over here like that. We need to send in this pattern for this write command. That's kind of a manual thing, and it's a tedious job to assess and see. So what we can do, we can just simply create a utils .js for now, and I will be dumping the code right away. I will be explaining that. So it's easy. So build redis command, right? So what we are doing, let's say in our case it is set foo bar. So I'm splitting with space, and I'll get an array of 3 elements each. Like first element would be set, second foo, third is bar. Now, if you recollect the RESP protocol, this is exactly similar as we are passing three strings. Three strings as in it's an array, right? So if you see here, star 3 is the number, like the length of the array, right? So what I'm doing, I'm trying to build the whole command, keep appending, and just returning the command that we need to send, like the actual RESP supported string. So now what we do, first to begin with, if you see, let me just open, if I can do it in the side. Okay, so first thing, star to begin with, and the length of the commands. So that sorry, so that would be args.length. Okay, slash r slash n following. So we completed till this point. Now for each argument, right? For each argument, so this argument is nothing but the string, right? So the strings, the pattern is we should start with the dollar, and for the arrays that is star, right? So dollar dollar, don't get confused, this one, this is like a template string, right? So this dollar is the actual dollar over here, and this is like a template string variable. So arg dot length, so in our case foo value, foo of length, that would be 3. So $3, then again slash r slash n, and the bar, oh sorry, here the like the actual length, then here in this case the actual value of it. So length over here, slash r slash n, then the value, and you keep iterating, because the separator is again slash r slash n at the end, basically the next line. Okay, clear. You could try it out, but it's simple. So I'll just rephrase. So for any commands, the number of space separated strings, that would be the star 3, and following $3, sorry, dollar, the length of the string, and how many number of arguments, we just construct that and keep appending, and we'll just return that as a command. I hope that is clear. So on the command side, instead of writing send command something like this, we will just use build redis command, and let's pass this over here itself. Okay, else I think we, instead of calling this function inside over here, we'll just use it in the send command, because for the send command anyway we need to keep using this, right? So yeah, build redis command, that's it. I think this should work. So let's clear out the console. Npm run test. Yep, all good. So test successful, should set and get. Let me just go through it. So what we are doing, set foo bar, right? And in the set response, we are expecting whether it's all acknowledged. And immediately we are calling get command also, and you're validating that. And you, this is also, I think, should be self-explanatory again. Bar, right? So the server v will send in this fashion: $3 slash r slash n bar and slash r slash n. Clear? If you want me to look at over here, get, right? Once we get the value, dollar value dot length slash r slash n and the actual value. Clear? That's it. So should set get value, we have this test case. Let me just fill in with the other blocks of test cases. I'll just give a walkthrough of it, of those as well quickly. um, so for a non-existent key, this is the test case. So should return $-1 for a non-existent key. So if you see here, so the test suite, the whole setup is in one terminal we are running a server, and here if you see on that server test, we are just connecting to the same server. Okay, that's it. So luckily at this stage it's all in memory. So if you want to refresh the in memory, if you want to rerun the test cases, if you just simply save the file, the server restarts, the whole in memory will be empty object again, and you can run the cases, the test cases clearly. Okay, so let's resume. Should return $1 for a non-existent key. So here the key is foo1, not just the foo, and we'll get -1. Okay, let's run this again. Right. All right, so let's do the delete also. I'll just fill in the block over here. So should delete a key. So what I'm trying to do is I'm setting foo del as a key and pour bar as a value. Okay, looks odd the value, but okay, for the sake of testing that should be fine. So first I'm setting a value pour bar for foo del key. Okay, now I'm deleting by simply calling del the actual key, del response :1 if it is valid. So we are basically asserting these things over here. Then once we deleted, we are trying to call the same thing, get foodle, and we're just checking whether we are getting nil or not. Nil, -1 is nothing but nil. Okay, let's run the test case again. Total 3 tests passed, and if you can see, we are receiving del food, the same commands. What now, without storing this one, if you do rerun the test, okay, in this case it is passing, but few of the cases there will be like, if you are trying to delete and expire and all, if you just do the same test case without refreshing, at least at this stage it's in memory, right? So it might corrupt the existing data, or even the test cases would fail. Now let's complete the video by having the last chunk of test cases. That one would be simply expire. Okay, should expire a key, right? Set foo exp bar. Okay, so first we are setting a key of foo exp, and the value is like exp bar, and I'm setting that to 1 second. Okay, then if you see here, waiting for 1.1, so it is like a simple promise based thing. That's why we have an async over here. And after 1.1 second, after, not exactly as 1.1, because set time mode doesn't work like that. Once it's done, so after 1.1 second, we'll just try to get foo, and we should get the same nil, -1. Okay, let's run again. So if you see, there is a delay, right? 1.1, and this 0 to milliseconds is literally for to run the whole test case. 4 tests pass. Let's add the very last chunk. This is like just to send some wake command, right? Instead of the all unknown or something unknown test. And if you see, should handle unknown commands gracefully without crashing. So I'm just passing the command as unknown itself. You can try anything, but just for this one. So then we'll say error unknown command. Okay, if it's confusing, let me just use Vivek test. Okay, now if I run test 5, should handle unknown command crash. So it is returning unknown command, error unknown command. Okay, let's just use it. Oops, unknown. Clear? That's pretty much it. So I'll just give a summary of the whole thing. We started creating. We created a new file code.js, and the entry would be on the parse command, where we are actually parsing the whole RESP based thingy. We are parsing it and extracting commands and or sorry, one single command and args based on the different command types. And we do have exporting the next separate execute command, where we are actually executing the command by having a separate command handler as a separate entity, so that it's isolated, and later we can actually pull in and keep it as a separate file, all in all. Yeah, so yeah, so if the handler is not valid, then we're just returning it as an unknown command. If it is valid, then based on the each respective set, get, and delete, expire, we are handling the data accordingly. Yeah, and you got an exposure on how the RESP protocol works, and like the string patterns, serializing and also deserializing. Okay, I guess that's all. Just to have it in place as a consistent way, like we do, what we can do in the code down the line, will be saving the information to DB and all that, right? So we can have a placeholder init function, just so that we'll call this before, like the moment the server starts, right? So now what we can do, we can just have an init function. For now, it's all in memory, so this acts as a placeholder, but down the line we'll be having different persistent modes, like the snapshot and the AOF and append only file mechanism. So we'll just have this as a placeholder and export this one, and in the server.js we can just call it as init. Okay, npm start. So if you see, persistence mode in memory and server running, that's fine. So clear. And I see there is a small kind of typo, I believe. I think we did cover as is in the previous video also. This literally doesn't make sense. This is not a logger.log. Maybe we can just rename this to info. That makes more sense, and I think all the necessary changes also happen. Logger.log. Okay, server.js logger.info. Yeah, it did change. Oh yeah, here also we can just logger.info. Okay, I hope we are not using console log anymore, just accept the actual logger. Okay, cool. Looks good. So that's it. That's a wrap. We can just start the server one more time and run it again. Npm run test. Okay, all 5 tests passed, and we completed all the we completed the 4 basic commands: set, get, delete, and expire. That's all for this video. I hope everything is clear. If you have any questions, or if you want to have any things to discuss or improve, please feel free to comment down in the video, so that we can collaborate and improve to the max. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.